this on your eyes. Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Long time no see for a big talk about football, Europa League, illness, and just a bit of everything has got in our way in the last couple of weeks. But we are back for a big talk about football in the international break. As always, at the start, I am joined by Mike. How are you, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Better than you, I think.
yeah, I got
bit of a
little bit of a cold, but we will roll with it. Mike's been kicked out of the living room and into a fantastic setup in the spare bedroom. How about that, Mike?
Yeah, it's much better, isn't it?
Yeah, looks brilliant.
I've got some Wi-Fi up here, mate. That's what it is. I've got a booster upstairs now, so I'm kicked out of the living room, and then the wife doesn't have to come in and whisper to me all the time. So.
Oh, I love it. I hope you are well, Pete. Come on, you Irons. Yeah, and anybody in the chat, get your thoughts, comments in, and all of that jazz. And we will get started and bring our first couple of guests on. Firstly, we've got a couple of Man United fans tonight. Firstly, Baker, how are you?
Evening, chaps. I'm very well. And yourselves?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Not too bad. Mrs. Hatcher rules. Would you agree, Mike?
Definitely. She'll be watching this later. Definitely.
Mark, I hope you are well. Tufty as well. I hope you are well. How is it up in Geordie land, Tufty? Because you've got Eddie Howe, but you're still getting relegated. Simon, I hope you are well. Let's bring our next couple of guests on. Let's go Chelsea, the one person that's above us in the league at the moment. Well, two actually. City are there, but we don't have any City fans. No City fans come on. Top of the league, Steve. How are you, Chelsea fan?
City fans all live abroad. That's the problem.
You okay?
Yeah,
good. Not in Manchester.
Good. I'm really impressed that a Man United fan will put his head above the parapet this week.
No problem.
Well, not one has put. Oh, lovely mug, Mike. Not one Man United fan has put their head above the carpet. No. We've got two. Rob, how are you?
Hi, Rob.
Right.
Not too bad. Tufty says all good. Here we are. Going to do well. You're going to do well under Eddie Howe. All right. Jake, you look younger tonight. Thank you very much, Robert. Take that as a compliment, I suppose. But thank you very much, Robert.
Take it as a compliment, mate. Take that as a compliment. I'm telling you. You always want to look younger. Well,
we're going to get straight into it with a Baker. We'll start with you. Do you mind me asking what the hell's going on at Man United?
Not a lot.
Literally not a lot.
Maybe.
What's absolutely staggering though is just that, like, no matter what has happened, it's like the merry-go-round of Manchester United. You know, we're still front back of papers, front of Sky, everything. It's just well, there's other football stories going on. It's all about Man United, isn't it?
Yeah. It always will be, I think. Rob, what's the problem at the moment, do you think? Obviously, two big games against Liverpool and City gone badly. What is going wrong, do you think?
Difficult to put your finger on it, really, isn't it? I mean, is it all down to Ollie? Is it down to the players? Is it down to training? I don't know. I don't know. It just seems to have gone a bit belly up since CR7 arrived. Strangely enough.
Well, Mike, Cristiano Ronaldo arrived. Of course, it's a good thing for the league, but I can't lie to you. It has gone downhill, hasn't it, since Ronaldo's arrived, Mike?
I think it's difficult. I think Man United got a lot of very good players. They've got, well, on paper, they've got some of the best players in the world, but it doesn't work as a team, I'm afraid. That is the problem that Ollie's got, and I don't know where he can put it right or not. He needs to mix it up a bit, but it's, Ronaldo's got him out of the poo a few times already this year. He's scored, a few winners, but 90% of the time, it's him and Fernandes aren't doing enough work defensively, and that's where they get found out.
Yeah. Baker, do you think it's just too? You've got some very good players there, and do you think it's too many egos and too many individuals that's not making up a team?
Obviously, we've had plenty of conversations with all different kinds of supporters. Some that are Ollie out completely, like detest. Some are, stick with the manager, and lots in between. But I think someone made a comment the other day. It's like a band, a really good band, and there's like a guitar, a drummer, and everything, but they just can't get a tune out of the band. And I thought that's a brilliant analogy of what's happening at United here. They've got all the components, maybe a couple of weak spots, but not many. But they just can't seem to get a tune out of him. I think what's happened the last few weeks, we're sort of like come down a few pegs like you do. I mean, you're the opposite way, aren't you? You have gone up. So your eyes are kite and we're like, and I think we're pretty complacent now. Not complacent, it's probably the wrong word. We're pretty at peace with ourselves that we know something's got to change. We don't want to oust the manager. We don't want to vilify him because of what he's done, but there's going to be change at some point. And I think it's a matter of when rather than if.
Yeah. But Steve, on another hand, with Chelsea top of the league, second in the Champions League group, is there anything to moan about?
Well, there's always something to moan about. A, it's football, and B, it's what day is it today? Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. So there's always something to moan about. I think that the issue that Man United have potentially got is that you could dump Solskjaer if you like, but who are you going to get that actually?
Exactly, that's it.
Are they going to get a budget? They're not going to be in the Champions. Well, it's unlikely they're going to be in the Champions League next season the way they're playing, because there's too many teams that could potentially fill the places. And I'm not even including Spurs in that, because I think Spurs will take a little while to turn around as well. That's the problem you've got, is that you haven't got, and I hate to say this, you haven't got an Abramovich who just waves a checkbook and says, "Come on in," and you also haven't got that come and play for a team that's playing in the Champions League, has won the when Man United were doing really well, everybody wanted to go there.
Yeah, of course.
Managers, players, coaches, spectators, you name it. And this is how football works, isn't it? And it's, somebody else's turn at the moment. But you've got a lot of individuals, as you said.
We've tried the Van Gaal, the Mourinho way. I mean, I'm not complaining about Mourinho. He got us a few trophies. But I think Conte would have took us back there rather. Ollie's give us progression, but it's just got to earn. It's like, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah.
The problem with United is it's early in the season still. They could still make a Champions League place yet.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone in the top 12 could still make a Champions League place yet. It's still early days, but they would have to do well to finish third or fourth again now. And is that enough for Man United, really? That is the problem.
Exactly.
That Man United have got, because they could pick up and they could climb back up the league and get above a few teams and finish fourth, which for us would be amazing. But for Man United, that's probably not good enough again.
Correct.
Yeah. Simon is a Chelsea fan, and he'd say, I'd like to moan about the Burnley result. Steve, were you disappointed with the 1-1 draw? I can't lie. We were live on a show doing a Soccer Saturday kind of thing, and we were happy with that result on this title charge between Chelsea, Man City and West Ham United.
I like it.
Anytime you don't pick up 3 points, you're going to be disappointed. Yeah. There are some occasions when you think to yourself, we're not going to pick up 3 points if we stayed here till next Christmas. Not this Christmas, next Christmas. And that's one of those weeks. And every team has one of those weeks. And West Ham will have them. Man United have had a few. we had one of those weeks. The good thing is we had one of those weeks and got a point.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's better than having one of those weeks and losing 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
And we're going to have more. There'll be more. You know, there's no way we're going to do a Mourinho in his first season and go through and only concede 17 goals all season and all that sort of stuff. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen in the Premier League anymore. You know, when you think about it, Liverpool lost records, we've lost records. You know, teams are being beaten left, right, and centre. So the fact that I was disappointed, but I was also quite pleased we got a result. You know, and actually, I quite like Burnley as well. So you know, get a draw with anybody, I don't mind that. Sean Dyche's a good guy.
Wrong comment. Hope you well, Kent. He says Man United are a team of individuals that are not playing as a team. You missed the boat with Conte. I'm going to ask this to you first, Rob. Did you miss the boat with Conte?
No, I don't think we did, because like Baker was saying, we don't want to go back to this, sack him, who do we get in? You know, it might be okay short term. You know, Van Gaal won the cup, didn't he? And Mourinho got a couple of trophies, which was great, but United have never been a short term club like that, have they? You know, we've always tried to build.
Yeah.
So I'm like you were saying again, Baker, I'm in the middle, because I'm definitely not Ollie out.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if he is at the level he's going to be at. I don't know if he's got what it takes to move it forward. But I'm happy to give him the time, because there's nobody else out there.
Yeah, that's the $60,000 question.
Who'd you go for?
Yeah.
Like Steve said as well, it's not like we've got an Abramovich who's going to go and chuck a load of money in somebody else's face, you know, and pry them away from their club and get them to come to us. It's just not going to happen. So I think the players got a bit of responsibility as well, mind. I think they need to pull their socks up a bit.
Yeah.
There's something not quite right there.
To be honest with you, Rob,
I agree with all that.
Man United have got enough players there to play without a manager. They should be able to do it on their own. They're all intelligent, talented individuals who actually should be able to think, if I pass the ball to him, it's better than passing the ball to the opposition. At the moment, they don't even seem to be able to do that.
It's not rocket science, is it?
It's not. No.
I've got to admit that for me, the 4-0 at half time was the killer, because we've all suffered the 5-0s and stuff like that. But 4-0 at half time, and it was just like, it was like ping pong at the back. It was just like, it was goal. Like, huh?
Oh, Liverpool were incredible. But the big question, Mike, is Ollie still at the wheel, or is he slowly being put to the back seat and slowly being chucked out the car?
I don't know. Like the guys are saying, I think, they've got to give him time, because I don't know who else could come in and do a better job at the moment. I think they probably made a mistake in getting rid of Mourinho or Van Gaal, or even David Moyes.
That's come off a few times the last few weeks, hasn't it?
But I would say that, wouldn't I? But I mean, joking aside, it was a hard act to follow, wasn't it? Fergie was an impossible act to follow.
There's a little bit, Mike. There's a little bit where they're too far down the road with Ollie.
Yeah,
they are. That's what I'm trying to say.
Arteta at Arsenal. Arteta had a disastrous start. Now, a lot of clubs would have got rid of him after 5, 6, 7 games, and he's coming through that. Ollie had a great start, and has peaked and dropped off a bit. But they're too far down the Ollie journey, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
To stop halfway.
Mike, I'm sure you agree. United fans, don't worry. Nobody beats Liverpool. Oh, hang on, we beat Liverpool, though, didn't we, Mike?
I like that.
I'm telling you, that was the best atmosphere I've witnessed in that place since I've been going there. It was like going back to Upton Park. It was amazing. I mean, we deserved it because of the way we battled so hard. I mean, you know, we actually sussed out Liverpool's weaknesses and we exploited them. But they admittedly, you know, they had so much of the ball, but they just couldn't break us down. And when they had the chances, they missed them. And once you get them beyond their two fullbacks, they'll get at a ball. There's no doubt about it.
Is it right? You 5-10 minutes after the whistle had gone, you were still there. I've seen some videos on Twitter.
I was there for ages.
It was like you'd won the cup, and what got me, everyone in the stadium seemed to be singing in tandem, and there was an echo. It was just like, as a football supporter, you think, wow, that's brilliant.
2 weeks ago, I did
No matter
a
who you
stadium
support,
tour. There is an
fans.
echo in that place. It's amazing, the echo. They do it. They try it out with a bunch of 20 of you, and you shout, and it goes all around the place. And you imagine there's 60,000 doing that. It's
You've been pulling my leg anyway, so I've got to admit, I was right on the front row as Jesse Lingard come through.
Yeah,
and he scored, and I seen it coming in the net, and I got pushed over the barriers near enough.
I wasn't far from you, mate, because I said
so I've got to have one back. I've got to have one back.
You have, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to celebrate, and the United player pushed him into you lot, and which is fair.
Sorry about that, chaps.
You had to mention it, you know. You had to mention it.
Got to get one back. Got to get one back, Rob.
We haven't mentioned the cup game yet, have we? No, wrong.
Oh no, cup game. Lanzini, bang, out, City, out, bang. There we go. It's just what we do in this Carabao, whatever you call it.
Good stuff.
Question for you, Steve. Who's winning the league?
I meant to say we will be, but I think it's going to be really, really tight. It depends whether Man City hold their nerve, which they haven't actually been very good at recently. And at the moment we've got pole position. We've got to lose games, and that's always a good place to be. Points on the board rather than games in hand or anything. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be stressful. And I've been supporting Chelsea for a long time, and I've got grey hair, so that should say everything you need to know really about whether Chelsea are going to win the league this year. I'd like to think so. I think it's going to be tight.
Rob, Man United face Watford after the international break. Watford have come up and they're no pushover, that's for sure. Arsenal gave them a good go and a bit of controversy there. What would you like to see in that 90 minutes from Man United?
Well, just different to the last two lots of 90 minutes. Let's have a bit of cohesion for a start. You know, we got to get back to that amazing away record that we had up to a couple of weeks ago. Just be solid, you know, back to basics. As daft as it sounds for a team full of superstars and talent like that, we've just got to get back to basics and keep a clean sheet and try and pinch a goal. You know, we've just got to see an improvement, really, because I don't know where we go from here if we get beat badly.
If in doubt, kick it out. It's the oldest one in the book.
Yeah. Don't slice it into the back of your net.
You know what I'd like to see from Man United when they're playing? I'd like to see a bit of passion.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any. It seems to be we're picking up this enormous paychecks all the time. Yeah. And we'll pick up paychecks whether we win or lose. And there's no passion. You watch, you know, somebody's already mentioned Fernandes. You know, he there's no urgency to defend for the team. There's no urgency. If it's not put at his feet, he's not interested. And there's no passion. You watch some of the other teams. You watch Liverpool. They're always on the go. They're always on the move. They must run tens of thousands of meters in a game. It'd be interesting to compare it to Man United average per game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's way down. It's way down. Couple of quick questions before I let you guys go. Yes or no, Baker, will Lingard sign for West Ham in January?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. So do I.
Yeah, if not, you're getting cheaper at the end of the season, won't you?
100%, yeah.
Because I think he's your way bound, isn't he? He's part of Moll's plans, isn't he? Definitely.
Yeah. Kent says all four stands were standing up singing versus Liverpool. Wonderful moment. It sounded incredible. But anything you would like to say, Steve, Rob, or Baker, before I let you go?
I'm going to be interested to see how the allowance of people standing up in grounds is going to work, because that's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
we already do.
Yeah. Well, I know illegally.
No, we're in a standing area. We've got bars.
It'd be interesting to see with some of the shall we say the more how can I put this more boisterous clubs.
Well, to be fair, where we sit in Bobby Moore Lower, everyone stands up and there ain't no bars there. So when we score, there's mayhem. But that's just what happens, you know. You got a bit of support tonight, Baker.
Proper United. Good lad. Whatever happens, we'll be back at some point.
Yeah.
There we go. And Rob, I'll leave you with the final thought. Anything you'd like to say?
Oh, just look forward to some international football instead of this club rubbish for a change.
Now, you would
today.
never thought you'd have been saying that 6 weeks ago.
I won't be saying it again in 6 weeks' time either.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Steve, Rob, and Baker, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Adios.
Cheers, lads. Thanks, Jake.
Cheers, lads.
You guys.
Bye-bye.
Right, then before we move on to a bit of Liverpool and a bit of West Ham, Mike, I've got one question for you. One, how massive are West Ham United?
We are massively massive.
You were going to say something there, then you held yourself
I
back.
know.
Mike.
I won't do it on the show. You know that, Jake. I've let the odd one slip out, but we are massively massive, mate.
We are massive.
Yeah. I mean, that has wound everyone up this week, isn't it? And it's great because they're biting.
We'll get into it later
It's
on. What we're
great
going
to see
to
them
do?
biting. Yeah.
What we're going to do when we get on to West Ham in a bit, Mike, we've got Simon Jordan to talk about. We've got Laura Wood sticking up for us. We've got the lot. But let's get into West Ham, and we will start off with Gary. How are you?
Hey, Jake. Hi, Mike.
Gary, you right?
Yeah, good. Up the hammers.
The Hammers, we are massive, and to kick off the West Ham bit, we've got I'm hoping gracious in defeat, 26 game unbeaten streak, beaten by the mighty Hammers. Richard, who is a Liverpool fan, Rich, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, no, congratulations, you guys. I watched the game on TV, and just could see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So no, fair play to you guys. You played us well.
Yeah. Your season on a whole, how have you rated it so far, Rich?
Out of 10, I'd say 7. We're not in the midfield. I think we're still lacking. I think we've missed Ginny Wijnaldum. We're not as tenacious as perhaps we have been in the last couple of seasons, and Virgil's probably 70-80%. And even Matip, Matip obviously was out for a while. And Andy Robertson isn't firing on all cylinders at the moment. But in saying that, Alisson had one bad game. He didn't really perform on Sunday. But I'd rather he made those 3 mistakes in one game rather than 3 mistakes in 3 games that we lose. So, hopefully you guys have still got Chelsea to come, haven't you, in the next few weeks as well?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
December
4th of December.
Is it? Yeah. So hopefully a draw there, and then we win to help us climb back up.
Do you think in a way West Ham really kind of opened you up and opened you up in a way that you haven't been before, or would you just put it down to West Ham played really well and Alisson had a nightmare?
You could have scored a couple of times, couldn't you, on the break? If Antonio had got the ball under control, so we could have got punished further. To be fair, there's a couple of times when Virgil did save us a couple of times as well, didn't he? So no, I think with you guys, you look like a group, a bit like we did, or we are as a team, but. I've seen some of the social media stuff, and Declan Rice and Zuma, and that lot. Everybody seems together with your side. You all seem to be playing well, and fair play to Moyles. I expect United are probably thinking, what could have been.
Brilliant. Going ahead with the season, final question, Rich, is where would you like to see Liverpool come to the 25th of May next year?
Obviously, top would be nice. I'd just like us still to be challenging by that sort of time. I just don't want Chelsea or City to run away with it.
Well, there's only one option then, Rich. If you don't want City or Chelsea to run away with it, there's only one option left, and that's West Ham doing the unthinkable. That's it.
Yeah. No. Who knows? If you guys can get your players to stay fit, I'd love you to get in the top 4, because hopefully it means that United aren't there. So, exactly. It's the strength and depth, isn't it? I guess for you guys, squad-wise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. But Rich, thank you very much for coming on tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season. Now we've played you.
Cheers. Likewise. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Cheers. Right then, Gary.
Yes, Jake.
How massive are West Ham United?
We're too massive to say on this public.
There we go. I like that. Jordan, how massive are West Ham United?
Where do you start? You know, I mean, we're not so ridiculous like Simon Jordan to take it too seriously on TalkSport.
That's Simon Jordan for you, mate, isn't it?
We'll get onto that in a
What an
second.
absolute melon that bloke is, but no, we are massive, but we're not unrealistic. But yeah, we're enjoying it whilst it's lasting. So we've had a lot of ups and downs, especially since we've moved ground. So yeah, I think we're entitled to say we're massive currently.
100%. Let's just get this Simon Jordan absolute tosh out of the way first. Mike, what did you make of it? So basically, if you haven't seen it, you're probably living under an eggshell on Twitter. It is Simon Jordan basically went on and said, West Ham fans this, West Ham fans that, they're getting carried away. Boy, they're saying they're massive. And then Laura Woods the next morning went on and explained about West Ham clips and everything about taking a joke and just enjoying themselves. And then just to wind people up even more, Simon Jordan then went in the comments, like Twitter post, and said, I obviously don't have enough time as Laura Woods to research these kind of things. What a prat, Mike.
Oh, mate, I actually do listen to it when we're winning, and so I have been listening to it a fair bit recently, but I just shouldn't, because as soon as Jordan comes on, I will just turn it off, because he's doing his job and he's getting people to listen to it. But he does talk a load of tripe. He really does.
Exactly. That's his job, though.
But that's his job, and they get because of it. So fair dues to him. But you know, I take it with a pinch of salt, mate. And like Laura Wood said, you know, we're just having a good time. We're just enjoying it. Jordan just said it. You know, it's doesn't happen very often. We've got to make the most of it. You know, and you know, like they're saying, oh well, they're not massive. Well, we are quite massive because of the size of our ground and the size of our support. Full stop. You know, they can't take that away from us. You know, we've got that. You know, I mean, I think he's thinking that we're massive and we're going to win the league and the European Cup and everything. Well, it's not that. It's a bit of fun and we're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, and to be fair,
fighting, which is even better.
To be fair, at the end of the day, Gary, that's his job. His job is to say stupid things and get people to watch their YouTube channel, their Twitter and Instagram page, because it's all about the money, and that's what he's there to do. He's just made stuff look like a right fool, hasn't he, Gary?
Yeah,
winning the league.
Clever guy, successful businessman, obviously, but you know, Mike hit the nail on the head. You know, I'm an old man. I can remember 1986, last time we had a season like this, and we've had years and years and years and years of rubbish, and we're just enjoying ourselves. It's funny, you know. Liverpool turned up. Jurgen Klopp was so miserable after the game, and it's funny. We're just laughing at him. Just, you know, oh, it's a foul, it's a foul. Everyone says it's not a foul, but he hasn't come out and apologised. It's just funny, and we're making it's ironic. We are massive. It's like irony. Just enjoy it.
Exactly. Jordan, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, talking about Jurgen Klopp. As a manager, I got a lot of time for him, but after that Liverpool game, I saw a complete contrast between the levels of class between him and Guardiola. Because when Guardiola and City lost to us, he held his hands up and said, West Ham were the better team. And even last season when we played them, that we were the most difficult game for them home and away last year. And he praised us the way we're playing. Klopp comes out, says we were playing too negative, moans about VAR and referee decisions. But when he got asked about Salah and his dive to lead for the Trent goal, he said he conveniently didn't see it. So as much as I rate Klopp as a manager, he reminds me of Sir Alex Ferguson a little bit when he loses. He's a very sore loser.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Luke, I hope you're well. We're talking about how great I am again on West Ham. The latter, Luke, but you are great. You are great, Luke. Don't panic about that. And don't forget the new investor as well. We're going to get onto that a little bit later on. Here Here they come. Look, Declan Rice gets after West Ham accept off. An absolute load of rubbish. We'll get rid of that. James, I'm sure you've got something to say about what Simon Jordan has said on Twitter and TalkSport. Say away, James.
We're not part of the big six, are we? We're the outcast, we're the underdog, and we're the ones who's ruining the party. Let them carry on, mate. As long as we keep marching on together and we all push in the same direction, success will come to West Ham. And I'll keep saying it, we are a big club, and we've got to start acting like a big club in all aspects. So yeah, let him carry on. I'm not disappointed with Simon Jordan. He's just doing his job. I'll tell you who I'm disappointed out of that lot is Lee Clayton, because he is a West Ham fan and he just keeps doing it all the time. I know it's for hits and that's for views and all that. I get it, but come on, Lee. He's supposed to be one of us, mate. He's just always wants to put us down, really.
Exactly. I agree. A couple of things happening tonight. Souček has scored for the Czech Republic tonight. Soufal is also on the team sheet. And credit to Central on Twitter. David Moyes is in attendance at the England, I believe it is, I'm going to get this wrong, England under-21s versus the Czech Republic under-21s, perhaps scouting Conor Gallagher, who's playing, or one of the young Czech guns up at Turf Moor. He's here, he's there, he is flipping everywhere, and that is David Moyes. That is for sure. Right, so guys, get your thoughts and stuff you'd like us to talk about in the chat. A lot of West Ham news going about. We'll start with Ogbonna. Gary, we'll start with you. Not the greatest news we could have heard of. He's having a scan either today or tomorrow to see whether it's a grade 1, 2 or 3. I think grade 1 is a 2 to 4 week, grade 2 a couple of months, and grade 3s we're talking 9 months. Not fantastic news.
No, he's been very, very good this season for us, so hopefully it's not too bad. It'd be great if it's a couple of months and he's back in the new year. That'd be great, because he's been very consistent. He scored the winner at Everton. One thing about Sunday's game, I was disappointed no one showed that elbow in his face again.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but it looked like, Henderson came over and told him to get up, I believe, and looked at the blood on his face and thought, whoops, maybe he was banged. I think if he's out, probably Dawson will come in, and Dawson played very well when he came on. I thought he had a good game. But maybe in the window we might look for someone else. I know we've been linked with the Notts Forest centre back. Is it Worrell? I think we've been linked with him. So we'll see what happens, because Ogbonna's coming up to 34 now, isn't he? So yeah, we need to start thinking about looking at replacing him longer term.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of people have gone to Twitter and said, I hope that's not the last time we see Angelo Ogbonna in a West Ham shirt. An ACL injury is a bad injury for any person in any time of their career. Look at Manuel Lanzini. Look how good he was before his ACL injury. And to be fair, he's still a half-decent sub now, but, he's not the same as what he was in that 15-16 season. Apparently, that if it is as bad as it gets for Angelo Ogbonna, West Ham are going to extend his contract for another season. In the short term now, what does David Moyes do? Does he just hold out with Diop, Dawson and Zuma until January and then get somebody in, or does he bring some youth in to back up for, Europa League games?
Well, I think it's a position we can probably get away with now, and that's a bit of a shock, really. Because we've always struggled. We've lost one centre half in the past, and we're in a huge pile of it. Oggie's been brilliant, and we'll miss him. There's no doubt about that. And I'm just praying it is not a major tear. We want to see him back, and it's the right thing to do to give him another year's contract. He's been absolutely brilliant for us. But hey, for the time being, we're just going to have to switch them about. We can bring Diop in, we can bring Dawson in. I think both of them, even Diop, I think plays better alongside Zuma. Zuma's the man. I mean, if Zuma had got injured, I would have been, really, really worried. I think we can almost get away with that position. Just about. We couldn't get away with a striker being injured. We can't get away with a left back being injured. But we can just about scrape through to January and hopefully get, if it is that bad, get someone to fill in.
Yeah. Yeah, let's have a look at some of your comments and see what you guys are saying about the subjects before we move on. We are West Ham. Talk about us or not. Off you go. Not interested. We are West Ham. Love it, Luke. Agent Suchet bidding Moises here again. It's very possible. Gutted for Oggy. Massive miss. He's been in great form. He certainly has. Yeah, top 6 club camera work with that Jota elbow and just with everything. Let's have a look. Oh, Luke, you're on a wind up. Phil Jones, 6-month pay as you play. Moyes can make a silk purse out of farming reference for the Somerset crew. Oh, Luke. Pete says, I just hope Oggy don't go like Lanzini did, as Lanzini is only just starting to find his real form again. What do you think about the whole situation, Jordan? You gutted?
Yeah, obviously gutted, because that was a cemented centre-back partnership with Zuma and Ogbonna. And he's obviously got better as the years have gone on in his career at West Ham. But we've got numbers there in Diop and Dawson, but maybe it's a good opportunity to think of a long-term replacement, and we could potentially, I know we're linked with James Tarkowski, I think, from Burnley.
Yeah,
potentially. So maybe there's a good opportunity to get him in, considering his contract's up at the end of the season. I think Burnley still want around £20 million for him, so that's quite a lot for a player who's got 6 months left on a contract. But yeah, it's gutting, but I'm not worried. We've got good replacements there if need be, and I think come January we could and should either get a short-term loan deal in for the end of the season, or think long-term and maybe go out and get someone like a Tarkowski to replace him.
Yeah, James, what are you doing in this situation if you're David Moyes? I mean, what we've mentioned, you just stick out with it, get some youth in, wait to January transfer window. What are you doing?
You don't do youth, mate. I'll tell you what you do is you train up Zuma and Diop together, because that's the future. That's the partnership that I want to see. We see him in Zagreb, and they was phenomenal. They was very, very good in Zagreb and on our European debut. Coletta Carr, mate, is the man that we should be going after. Obviously, I've heard a few things about Coletta Carr, that he might be moving in January, and the London Stadium is no better place to come to at the minute. The reason why he didn't come in the summer is because his missus was either going to have a baby or she had just had a baby, and he didn't want to up and move his family, especially with COVID and everything else. So if that ever comes off, Coletta Carr, that's the man that can come in, and we need to be aiming higher than just a temporary fix, so to speak. It has to be someone who can come in, because we're fighting on all fronts. We need quality players at the club. But yeah, Diop and Zuma for me, mate. I think, to quickly round it up for me, I think that it will be Dawson and Zuma at Wolves, and then when the Man City game comes round, it'll be Issa and Zuma as a pair.
Yeah. Does anyone want to comment on the fact that that perhaps this might be a blessing in disguise for West Ham? Of course, not for Angelo Ogbonna. That the fact that now we could see Issa Diop and Kurt Zuma partner together on a more regular basis, which is the future at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not what we want to see, really. But I like James. I think that Diop and Zuma are a great pair. I think they're a few games together, and I think they'll be fine. They've already shown. I think, well, they're both French, aren't they, for a start? And I think Zuma's such a great player to bring other players on. You know, they watch him, they can pick up great tips off him. I think he's been the signing of the season for us, in my mind.
Yeah.
And you know, I think Dawson and Diop, and as long as Zuma stays fit, we can just swap them around a little bit. If we get through in the Europa League, then we can probably play Dawson and Diop together, or we can bring in, you know, a young lad if we get through. But for the time being, we need our best team for the next 3 or 4 games for sure. So I'm hoping that Diop and Zuma can really forge a partnership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's move on to Daniel Kratinski. He's got shares in Sainsbury's. He's got shares in the Royal Mail, I think, and he's now got shares in the massive football club that is West Ham United. This is how now it currently looks. And 38.8% is still David Sullivan's. Kratinski now owns 27% of West Ham United, with David Gold owning just over 25%. What did you make of the news when it was announced? Was it yesterday, I do believe, Gary?
Yeah, it was. I think it's great news for us. I mean, he seems like a solid businessman with football acumen built up from is it Slavia or Sparta Prague? I get mixed up. One of the Prague clubs.
Sparta, mate.
Sparta, is it? He's been in the football business before, so that's great. Certainly better than Karen Brady being in charge. So hopefully he'll take more of a football interest as well. But I think it gives us a solid platform, pays off our debts, and hopefully gives us some room to improve our training facilities and get some good players in January and the summer. I was really pleased.
Yeah, Jordan, your thoughts on the check coming to West Ham?
I'm pleased that it's relinquished at least one of the two Davids not having a higher stake in the club, because I can't wait to see the back of those two, to be fair. That's just my opinion. I don't expect us to go on a big spending spree. I think they've already said a lot of the money he's put into the club will stabilise the debt, I believe. I think Moyes will be backed in January to buy some players, but I don't think there's going to be a huge spending spree in January. But I think a lot of the money he's put into the club for the short term anyway will stabilise the debt the club has. But yeah, I was delighted to see him announced as having shares into the club. It can only be a good thing for us.
Yeah, and there's been pictures released in the last couple of days of representatives from the Kratinski camp meeting up with David Gold, and it does seem to appear that Kratinski's bringing some sort of football director with him as well, and it all seems to look on the up, James.
Beginning of the end of GSB, mate. That is it. I've waited a long time for this. As you know, I haven't been to the ground in 6 years, and I cannot wait for them to be out the door in the next sort of 18 months. I think it's a good move. I think it's the right time. I think January's coming fast, and I think they're seizing the moment at the minute and getting this geezer in with his stake, and he's minted, and his missus is even more minted than him. I can see us going forward in a positive way and going out and not just buying covering players, buying proven players for positions that we need. And yeah, the sooner they're in fully, the better it is for everyone. And the sooner GSB are out, the better it is for everyone also, for the club to move forward.
Yeah. Mike, anything you'd like to add before we move on?
Well, it's got to be good news, mate, hasn't it? It's got to be good news. I mean, for us we need to kick on from here now, and we've said it, haven't we? I mean, we're up there, we're in the top four now. They need Moyes needs a bit more backing, and he needs Summit in January, definitely. I'd like to see Jesse come back. I'd like to see a left back, and I'd like to see a striker. If we can do that, if they can do that for us, it gives us a chance to stay up there fighting on at least 3 or 4 fronts. And I mean, this got to happen. It's got to happen for us to move on, I think.
Yeah. Let's take some of your comments about Ogbonna and Kratinski. Get them into the chat. Oggie's gone in the summer, says Luke. I'm afraid harsh, but need a new centre back. Sorry, Angelo. While Oggie is sitting on the bench, we can sing his name and wish him well and make some massive karma for him and help him mend. Tufty reckons Tarkowski's going to Newcastle. He'll be coming out. Mbappe's coming to Newcastle next. You've got Eddie Howe as manager. You're going down, Tufty. I hate to break it to you. You are going down. Moyes is at the game at Turf Moor. We could see some more players coming our way. Maybe, lads, we could see some even more Czech players coming in with a check of Daniel Kratinski injecting more and more money in. You know, that's might what he bring. That makes zero sense. But he might bring some more Czech players along. Who knows? One thing I do want to discuss as well is today the Premier League have announced what's going to happen next season, and on I think it's the 16th of November the Premier League stops for the World Cup, and the Premier League restarts again on Boxing Day. Why on earth is the World Cup being played in flipping November to December? Anyone want to comment on that?
Sepp Blatter.
Yeah, say no more. Yeah. Gary, bang it on the head there, mate.
It just seems a bit stupid, Jordan, doesn't it?
It's a joke.
It's stupid to give the World Cup to a country who don't even have a national football team, and it isn't their national sport. It's all about money. And I did enjoy a documentary Gary Neville did a little bit before COVID broke out, and I just want to, spare a thought to the workers who've been building the stadium and the amount of deaths they've had, and the environment of some people that have had to work behind the scenes. It doesn't get the coverage it deserves, really. It's all about money. It's all about greed, and it's pathetic. That they host a World Cup over there, and they have to host it in winter because it's too hot in the summer. It isn't their national sport, and it just disrupts domestic and European football. I know it's maybe a one-off, but then on top of it, obviously FIFA were trying to push for a biannual World Cup. So it's just them trying to make more money. So I'm not looking forward to it personally.
Yeah, it's just you imagine us next season being on a good run. Mike, I'll put it to you, going on a good run, and all of a sudden, oh Christ, we've got a month and a half break for the World Cup.
It's totally wrong. I mean, it should have never happened. But like Jordan just said, we all know it's about money. They've got Arsene Wenger now, and they're fronting up to get this every 2 years. Well, it's a joke, really. They're just, he's probably getting paid a hell of a lot of money to say that. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I mean, it's going to mess everything up. Totally. You look at a lot of England players are still struggling from the Euros back in the summer. There's some of them that haven't really performed since then. You imagine they go away to that and they come back here. Fair dues. Our players haven't, but if it happens to the Tottenham players and the Man United players, I'm not really worried. But joking aside, it's not good. It's not good for football.
James, it's going to affect players massively. Now, I'm not going to say England are going to get to the final. I doubt if England get to the final of the World Cup. I'm not going to lie to you. But if they do, the final is on the 18th of December. Then let's just say, for argument's sake, we win it. And then we have a massive party. Declan Rice has got to play for West Ham on Boxing Day.
Well, it's 2 days after my birthday, mate. So if we can win it, that'd be a birthday present to remember for the rest of my life. But
right there, that's in the diary. 16th of December, James FIFA birthday party. Done.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, mate. I'm 21 again.
Well,
I'm blagging
we'll make you 21 again, James. Don't you worry about that.
But it is. But it is what it is, mate. At the end of the day, we can't change it. It's not so. What I fear, and this is sort of going away from the football side of it, is that amount of trouble it's going to cause, especially over Christmas. People are going to be out Christmas shopping in the boozers and all that, watching the games. In the summer, you have that because in the summer it's nice weather. You go out, you watch your football. But at Christmas time, it's going to be a lot worse because you're going to have Christmas parties. You're going to have all sorts. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of fear that I have about it. But other than that, it is what it is, mate. The only thing I can say is that if we're going to look at this, Deck will be going. The Czech boys will probably be going. Do you know what I mean? There's only an handful of West Ham players who will probably be going. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only plus for me.
Yeah, and whilst we're on these national competitions, the Africa Cup of Nations starts very, very soon, which will see us say goodbye to Saeed Benrahma for a while. I don't actually know when it does start.
26th of December. Boxing Day.
26th of December,
Is it?
Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So we will say goodbye to Saeed Benrahma just before then. And it's time. Who plays tonight? Vlasic. Nikola Vlasic. Well, he's going to have to step up, Mike.
So he's not injured now then? He's got over his injury.
Injury? What injury?
He so-called had an injury.
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah, yeah. Him and Yarmolenko had a
Injury,
slight
but they're
niggle.
both playing. They're both playing international football now. I know it's a bit of a joke, isn't it? Really, but it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm glad, changing the subject a little bit about from Vlasic, because we haven't seen enough of him yet. We don't really know what he can do. But I'm just glad Deck's having a rest, and he's been,
Yeah.
you know, he's got these 2 games off. You know, that's more important to me. Vlasic, I think maybe he can do it, but we just don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Jury's out on that one for me.
Yeah, we will come on to Declan Rice and all that jazz a little bit later on. Vlasic, has he got to step up, Gary?
As Mike says, we haven't really seen enough of him. He started against Manchester United and he's had a few sub appearances. I thought he was quite good the half an hour down at Southampton. I saw him. But he's very similar to Bowen, I think, in lots of ways, the way he runs. But let's see how he gets on. He needs some time. Same with Krau. They both need some time to see how good they are. I trust Moyes. He hasn't made many mistakes in the transfer market, so I'm sure he's done his research and he thinks he's going to be a good player. He's 23 years old. I'm pretty certain he'll develop. So let's give it some time. Look at
James, I can see it in your eyes.
Not for me, mate. Not for me in the slightest. Why we got to give this geezer time? He's £33.5 million. He should be coming in and hitting the ground running. Surely, like Kirk Zuma can do it. Ariola can do it. Why are we waiting for Nikola Vlasic to do it? For me, and this is my own personal opinion, I think I've seen enough of him to know that this is going to be a long, long time before we get what we expect. I watched him against Manchester United on his debut, and that was enough for me to say, you know what, you're in front of 65,000. Antonio's suspended, and basically, this is your time to perform, basically. If you want to start West Ham United, and let's be honest, he doesn't deserve a starting place. He's only getting a starting place because Benrahma won't be there. And that's a worry to me, mate. It really is, because I don't want it to change the dynamics of the squad. Like, don't get me wrong, Benny's going to be a miss, right? But it is what it is. But don't be surprised if Lanzini gets a start over him. I really do mean that. I think Lanzini's got more chance of getting in the squad or in the team than Vlasic at present. I really do mean that.
Yeah, yeah. We are going to get on to Declan Rice and all of that jazz in a second. But before we do, please check out our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below. Our fantastic channel sponsor here on West Ham Unofficial are SRM Carver and Son. SRM Carver and Son provides crushing, screening and aggregate recycling services across southern England. If you'd like to find out more information on SRM, please click the link in the description down below to check out more information on their website. Thank you very much to SRM Carver and Son for sponsoring West Ham Unofficial, and come on, you irons. I'm going to sneeze any second. Apologies, bear with me. But let's get on to talking about Declan Rice. And to start off, he has withdrew from the England squad. James, will come to you first. He's withdrew from the England squad due to an illness. Good or a bad thing for you?
Great thing, absolute great thing. He's got the West Ham bug, mate. I'm afraid, and he can't get back for 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's a shame for England, I'm afraid, but the West Ham bug's going around, and, yeah, and where we're massive, we've got to make sure he's fit and raring to go. But, yeah, in all seriousness, I'm happy, mate. I don't want to see him playing for England, let's be honest, against Albania and San Marino. Flipping hell to do without that. And we need to keep him. If we're going to do something this year, he's one of the main cogs in the wheel of West Ham. If we keep him fit, I believe we can do something this year, for sure.
to be fair, I couldn't care about him playing against Blimmin San Marino and Albania. Gary, and I'd rather he sits at home and gets a bit of a rest.
Exactly, sit at home with Lemsip, whatever he's doing, and then gets a rest. I think it's come at perfect time. Apparently, he had flu against Liverpool. I thought he was superb against Liverpool, so it's good that he managed to get through that game and let him have 2 weeks rest and come back for Wolves. But couldn't agree more.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, good or a bad thing?
Oh, brilliant thing, mate. I mean, he's paramount. Like James has just said, he is paramount for our success this year. And these 2 England games, England could pick a C team and they should win or do well in both of these games, if not get I think it's 1 result or 4 points that we need. I mean, yeah, he needs a rest. The lad's hardly had a rest, has he? He's come back from the Euros, and he's kept going and played a lot of games. I think he's played more games than I thought he was going to. I thought that Moyes might have left him out of a couple of the Europa League games, but he's played a lot of games, and it's just at the right time for him to have a little rest.
And Jordan, good or a bad thing for us staying at home?
It's only a good thing. Yeah, I don't need to waste his energy playing in those 2 games. Maybe he can get some of the lesser England players like Eric Dyer to have a bit of a go against teams like San Marino. So the big guns in England's team like Rice don't really need to bother playing those couple of games anyway. So, and yeah, if he's ill, rest up. See you at Wolves.
Definitely, I agree. And to finish off, before we head, a little bit of a news article from The Sun has come out, and to be honest, my mind has gone blank. I've completely forgot what it said, but it went along the lines of even if somebody comes in with £100 million price tag or what's the word, fee or offer, that's the word I was looking for, offer, it won't be accepted, as Declan Rice is paramount and is what we need to head forward. James, to you first.
100%, mate. And that's why I think that Daniel Kratinski is in the house now. I really do mean that. I think, for me personally, I think he's one of the reasons why he's here. And he's going to be offering Declan a bumper contract, mate, for me. And that's what it is. We need to keep him and build around him, and because Declan will attract good players to the club, and that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah. Can you see us keeping Declan Rice for a considerable amount of time? Jordan, will come to you. If Kratinski and West Ham put out a statement in the next 2 transfer windows and spend the money, are we going to keep Declan Rice for a long, long time?
I think it'll be a combination of money, but I think this season's quite key where we finish. If we can get Champions League football, then I don't see Declan Rice being swayed whatsoever, because come the summer, hopefully, the new owners should hopefully sit him down and convince him to stay. But I think it'll be a combination of giving him that bumper contract. Whatever he wants, just give it to him. It shouldn't even be a discussion or a negotiation. But I think as well, whether we go down the route of winning the Europa League and getting Champions League football that way, or do we focus a bit more on the Premier League and think, can we cement that top 4 place? Either way, I'm not going to grumble. But I think, we need to get Champions League football this year to not even have an ounce of worry about Declan Rice staying for next season or in the future.
Mike, we've seen it. I saw it firsthand at Aston Villa, how much West Ham means to Declan Rice. Money is a funny thing in football, but I genuinely believe he loves West Ham and he's got no intention in leaving. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but we were really close at Aston Villa, just a quick story. And they all came over to do their warm-up. We started singing Bubbles, and you could see it. Declan Rice was so close to us. You could see Declan Rice miming to himself, and Pablo Fornals was behind him doing the same. Declan Rice miming Bubbles to himself in tune as what we were doing. This man's not leaving West Ham anytime soon, Mike. You could see it, the passion on his face every single time we get 3 points.
Mate, the more nights like we had against Liverpool, that's just helping us to keep him. Like Jordan has just said, I think it does depend on a little bit how we finish this year. If we get in the Champions League, I can't see that he will go. I think he's staying. I think he's going to stay for a couple more years anyway. He's got to. The Czech guy's coming in, like I said, well, just offer him whatever he wants. He should be the top earner in our club by a mile.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's all about money for Dec, to be totally honest. I think he really does, he's appreciated what West Ham have done for him. He got booted out of Chelsea at 14. We took him on, you know what I mean? And he's grown with us. And he's grown to love the club, I think. And he loves the place. He loves the guys. He's enjoying the fans. And like I said, if we keep on going like we're going, I think we'll keep him.
Yeah.
I agree with Mike there. I just want to say this quickly. What you were just saying there, Mike. I think he's enjoying being the main man at West Ham. I don't think he becomes the main man anywhere else. Like if he goes just for he goes Manchester City, he's not the main man anymore. He's just one of them. Do you know what I mean? I think he relishes that role of being, well, basically he's the captain of our club and he's the one who's pushing the club forward along with the players. So, I think the Chelsea thing burnt him 100%. And when he got chucked out of Chelsea, and then they said he weren't good enough, I don't think I'll be very, very shocked if that man ever went to Chelsea ever again. Like, especially after the way they treated him at 14. So he's important, mate, and we must keep this geezer at the club, 100%.
Yeah, Gabby, do you think there's an element of seeing a bit of intention and just a clear path for where West Ham's going as well? Do you think that's what Declan Rice is trying to see and find and want to stay at the club?
I think so, Jake. I think he wants to play Champions League football. This is clear for him. He wants to keep improving, and he has improved tremendously with us. But there will be a glass ceiling. If we finish 6th, 7th, 8th every season, he's going to say, "Look, I'm sorry, lads, I want to go and play Champions League." And you can't blame the guy because he wants. It's a short career. So if we can continue to progress, then I think we can keep him. My two concerns are that Sullivan's still the major shareholder. Will he give him the contract he deserves? He needs 200 grand a week. That's the market for a top central midfielder nowadays. It's a lot of money, but that's what you can get at City and Chelsea and United, and we have to pay it. Simple as that. Sullivan might not like it, but we have to do it. And secondly, you see what happened with Villa. They sold Grealish for 100 million quid, and they just pissed it away. And it's a lot of money, a big responsibility for us. What would you do with 100 million, 120 million? We can't replace him. We've got this massive Declan Rice-shaped hole in midfield. So we need to make sure we really, really keep him somehow. Keep going up the league, showing our intentions. We're in Champions League. We've got a big stadium. We've got new investors. Selling the picture. Drawing a picture, saying this is what we're going to do as a club. But whether Sullivan can do that, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Let's head into the chat. Rice has a sore throat shouting down the table to Spurs. I like it, Luke. I like it. Kieran, I hope you are, my man. 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, dear. Hope you are well. Covered by Cats. Hope you are. Rice needs to be the new noble of West Ham. He needs to be the franchise player. Covered by Cats is in the USA. We were in good old Hampshire with Luke. We're in the USA with Covered by Cats. We're in Australia with Kieran. Love it. Antonio, indeed. Luke and Kieran are talking about cricket. Perhaps we should do an Ashes watch. No, we'll do an Ashes watch on if you come on, Luke. Luke and Scott and me doing an Ashes watch, and Mike as well. What about that? Will you come on, Luke? Come on. Pete says, I see two things that could sway Declan Rice, and they are Champions League and money. I don't think Declan Rice is about the money, and we also have the money to pay as well. And Champions League is very possible for us. I completely agree. Any other comments, thoughts, or subjects you guys would like to talk about before we say adios?
Are we going to win the league?
Yes.
I've already got the pit. I'm going to get it out again.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
I'm getting ahead of the game, and I'm already predicting this.
Right, here we go. Let's go full screen. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Screen on it.
Come the end of May, guys. That is what we're going to see. So
we should get that framed. And I'm going to put that right there.
Talk about Chelsea, biggest club in London. That's one.
Here's
That's
a question
for you, Simon Jordan. Am I having a laugh, or am I actually being serious?
If obviously our next 4 games, we've got Wolves, Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea. how many points do we get out of them? Was the first question. The second question: if we get positive results in each one of them games, are we title contenders?
Right then. So yeah, you're
just before we answer, I would just like to point out we are 1 point better off than Leicester when they won the league. I know the league's shaping up differently this year. There wasn't that front runner like we had, but I just like to point out we're 1 point better off than Leicester when they won the league.
I'll tell you what though, Jordan, I was going to do a video about that and you've mentioned it perfectly. So I'm going to do a video about that now. Thank you very much for reminding me. Right. The next few games we've got Wolves away. Then we've got Rapid Vienna away. Man City away. Brighton at home. That's one. All right. We'll take out the European games. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then Chelsea at home. There's 4 games there. I'm going to say if we can get at least 9 points from those 4 games, I think we've got to be considered as at least Champions League / title contenders. Mike, to you first.
If we got 9 points, then you got to start believing out of those games. I personally feel that 7 points wouldn't be too bad, but if we could get 9, I'd be over the moon. And I'll tell you what, people then would. I said it last night on the show. I said, give it 10 more games. If we're still up around there, then we got a chance. If we're still in that top 4, then why not? Leicester did it. Why can't we do it?
Yeah.
I like it. So there's 12 points available. How many points are you taking, Jordan?
Ooh, how many points am I taking? I would say at least 8. You know, in an ideal world, 2 wins and 2 draws out of those games would be perfect, or 3 wins and a loss, whatever way you look at it, would be better, obviously, points-wise. And the way we're playing and the way we played against Liverpool and the fact we've beaten City already and Palace have gone up there and stung them again 2-0, I think, we could maybe surprise City away. Chelsea, weirdly, I'm fearing Chelsea more than City with the way they're playing at the minute. I know Chelsea were held to Burnley, but you know, Chelsea look like they're a different animal this year. So, but aside from that, even though with the way those 2 clubs are playing, I still don't fear West Ham losing those games. I still think on our day we can beat anybody. So, I would say I would take 8 points, 7 or 8 points out of those games at least. Anything better than that is like, we've got to be considered title contenders. And I don't think I'd ever say that.
Yeah, well, there we've shown Gary against Liverpool that on our day we can beat anybody.
No, I agree. I mean, you've got to look at the facts, Jake. I mean, Ben Johnson's come in and been sensational, so we've improved there. Ben Rama's better this season. Fornals is scoring more goals this season. Bowen's better this season. Antonio's still strong. Rice is better this season. And we came 2 points off the Champions League last season. So factually, I think we've got a great chance. And I think City, the home game in the Cup, we didn't put our strongest team out. At the end of the match, they had their strongest team out and we still held them. So that gives us confidence. We've beaten Liverpool. Why not dream? Why not dream?
Exactly. And James, there in those games you'd expect us to beat Wolves and Brighton, even though Brighton are our bogey side. Then we've got Man City and Chelsea, 2 title contenders. How many points are you taking?
I agree with what Jordan said. 8 points is better. I know obviously 3 wins and a loss, but I think if you don't lose them games, then the confidence is massive going into games like Norwich, Arsenal, Watford, Southampton, all over Christmas. Do you know what? I don't know. I've just got a funny feeling. I just feel something's happening this year, and the next 4 games will really decide it for me. If we go up to City and we get something up there and we beat Chelsea at home, or get something against Chelsea at home, I fancy us, because I think come January they will look at it and go, right, what do we do? Do we stick or twist? And I think they're going to go for it in January. We're going to get some players in, and we're going to have a stronger team going into obviously New Year. So 8 points, but obviously if we win all 4, then we are massive. Literally.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. If we are in the top 4 when the January transfer window opens, I've got even more confidence in the ball going for it now, especially with Kratinski there now. And even if it was still Sullivan and Gold, I think I think they'd still be pressured into going for it as well because of the situation we're in. If we're in the top 4 and we don't go for it, we will never go for it in the transfer window. We've got to go out and we've got to get that left back. We've got to get a striker. We've got to get this. We've got to get that.
Well, it is. There's no excuses now. There is absolutely no excuses now. You've got this new investor in there. There's money there. Obviously, I don't like to talk ill of anyone else on different platforms and things like that. But you can't keep saying that there's not another. We can't find a backup striker on this planet. Do you know what I mean? There's millions of footballers out there. West Ham could surely go and find a backup striker to help Antonio out. And there's no excuses now, mate. There really ain't.
Yeah. You had
Just
to mention
add, sorry, Jake. I was going to say,
Go on.
I think just something I was thinking about that. I mean, the last time we had, obviously, forget last season with COVID and stuff. The last time we had this kind of feel good around the club was the last season at the Boleyn, and I think that was an extra incentive for the players, to deliver a good final season. Whose final season is it this year at West Ham with Mark Noble retiring at the end of the season? So I think looking at those two things, I think obviously with the way things have gone last year, Moyes has turned this club around. I think the fact that it's Noble's last season as well is an extra motivation for the players to give him a season to remember. So I think that's contributing to why we're seeing special things. Well, that's just what I think anyway, personally.
Yeah, 100%. Luke says bring back Carlos Sanchez. Yeah, I play him at left back in the dressing room if he does come back. To be fair, he wouldn't even be getting in the dressing room. He'd probably just be left back in the hotel, playing left back there.
Or
to be honest with you,
get my ego up front.
Oh, you're trolling now. I'm not even reading that comment. You're trolling, Luke. You are actually trolling. You're on a wind-up. Lingard should sign and leave that dumpster fire that is Man U. I agree. Injuries or suspensions in key positions at the back end of the season. We need a few more in the squad in January. I completely agree. Right, how many points are people taking? 12 points out of 12, says Pete. 12, and we are top of the league. We are not title contenders. Oggy's injured and we are scared. Top 4, yes. Nil for Newcastle, 0 points. Newcastle won't win. Oh, Tufty ain't here anymore. But James, how much are Newcastle getting relegated?
I think they're in massive trouble, mate. Yeah. I really do. I feel that they're trying to blag it till January, and then they're going to try and invest in the squad. But do you know what? If Watford and other teams start picking up points before then I think they could be cut adrift. And Eddie Howe has been relegated before, and the pressure of it. It's a big job for him, mate. Like it's for the other managers that's coming today, like Gerrard and Lampard and all that. They're all it's like only 20 teams can be in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. And yeah, I believe it's going to be tough for Newcastle for sure.
Yeah. Final thoughts for the night goes to my co-host, Mike.
All I want to say, mate, is we're up there. We got to enjoy this and we got to carry it on. We got a chance to really have a push this season, and now's the time. Like James just said earlier, let's go for it. Let's really push for it. This is going to be this. I reckon this could be a season like the Leicester one. We could sneak in there and take teams by surprise. We've beaten Liverpool, and it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. Moyes did his own work on them. Okay, we had a bit of luck. But if we can beat them, mate, we're capable of beating anyone on a day.
Yeah. And Gary, final thoughts?
Yeah, I said that it's certainly a special season. It's the first time for many years I felt confident every game. It's just, and it's so nice to see. I mean, how Klopp could say we're negative when we scored 3 times and hit the bar. I don't know. It's just, people are not taking it seriously, and that's great. Let them carry on. And then, it's been a great season. Let's hope it continues. I feel confident. If we keep everybody fit, we've got a good chance.
Yeah. Newcastle will be playing Cardiff next season. If you're lucky, Hugh, if you're not playing Rotherham or whoever in League One. I hope you're well, Hugh. we are enormous. I mean, mass doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Not a fan of Steve Bruce, but anyhow, Steve Bruce is loving life. He's out in Dubai watching the cricket. He is absolutely loving life, Steve Bruce. Out in Dubai. He'd rather be in Dubai than blooming Geordie land. That is for sure. Jordan, anything you'd like to add before we head?
Same as what I always say, just we're massive.
James?
That's it.
Next 4 games, mate, will decide it for me. And if we're going to do the unbelievable, do you know what I mean? But we go marching on. We've got the Carabao Cup coming up, Spurs away. We've got the Europa League. Let's get that done in the Europa League and finish top in that. And let's roll into 2022 in a high position. And let's see some investment in January and get some players at this club for sure.
There we go. That is a big Talk About Football episode 6 of the season done. James, I hope to catch up with you very, very soon, hopefully. Mike, pleasure as always. Thank you for being my co-host once again tonight. Mike's been kicked out of the living room, but he's took himself to a fantastic setup in a spare bedroom. Let's have one last look at that now.
Nice.
He's frozen. He lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'll take that. Jordan, thank you very much for coming on.
Pleasure.
And Gary, thank you very much for coming on as always.
Cheers, Jake. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, everyone in the chat, for joining in. Drop a like on the video on your way out.
Cheers,
Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. From me, Mike, he's now gone. Jordan, he's back. He's gone. Mike's back. To be fair, Mike, you lasted 1 hour and 15.
Mate, the battery's running really low, so yeah, I'll say goodbye.
Yeah,
Cheers,
we
Mike.
are heading. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Come on, you Irons. Come on, James. Come on.
Yeah, mate.
Hey! Come on, you Irons. And we will catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.